Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, JackofallReys. Hope you've been watching and liking, digging what I've been doing. Today I got something a little bit different for you. While most of the majority of my videos, or whatever, the majority of my videos have been a lot of unboxing of things like Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic the Gathering. This channel was originally meant to be centered more around all of my hobbies, not just one, and I know I've referenced that but still keep pumping out mostly the trading card unboxing, just because that's kind of what's been exciting me the most lately. But actually today I got a little something different for you guys. Today I am upgrading a Lenovo ThinkCentre M93p from an i5 4th gen to an i7 Intel i7 4th gen. I'm sorry, I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Also doubling up the RAM in it. I think it currently has an 8 gig stick. We're gonna just go ahead and max that out. I think the max is 16, so we're just gonna go ahead and max it out, dupe it up, and up this processor, and then we're gonna slap an OS in there. I'm gonna try my luck with the Win 11. Technically it's not supposed to run on it, but I had the weird strange luck of getting it to load on a previous one of these models that I just built out for my brother, who was in need of a PC, and we're just gonna say fuck it and try it again. If not, I got the Win 10 image also loaded on a stick that we could slap on there. But yeah, this is mostly part of it is an experiment, but also too is a DIY on or how to, and for those who may be a little new to swapping out parts and wanting just to see how things may run on these micro PCs too. And I've been dabbling in PC stuff since I was a kid, and I do this for a living now, and doing an IT with an IT career, and now I'm just a hoarder of a lot of things, and know way too many people who like to sell me stuff. So I end up, having stockpile of parts. So whenever I have friends and family in need of stuff, I tend to, if I can whip them up a computer or whatever. Just basic. All we really need for this too. Then we get this before I get derailed on all this conversation. I got my chips right here. I can give you a close up of. Actually, I don't have my knife. Maybe I won't need it. Ordered two, since I have a couple of these micros. I definitely don't want to leave on those i5 stocks that they come with. Basically the i5 of that era were a dual physical core quad virtual, 2 physical 4 logical compute, which is fine, but come on, you want that quad 8 if you can get it. And these 4th gen i7s are just that. I saw the difference loading it on my brother's PC. It was, man, just zippy with an SSD to do basic stuff. Yeah, there you go. I can give you a quick close up on the chip right here. A nice 4th gen i7 4790. Too bad my camera is crap. Get a little better detail on what's going on here. At least the label. Maybe I can get you a nice. There we go. Yeah, so we're gonna slap that in this bad boy right here. This kind of fell off the cardboard, but it's all good. These are sturdy little chips. I did pre-test this unit before the upgrades, so it powers on. It had an OS on it. So it's just a screwdriver, basic screwdriver. I mean, universal one but it's auto because I'm lazy like that, and I've been doing this long enough that, yeah, if you can make it easier on yourself, take advantage of it. Boom. So this is one screw to pop this off. Should just be a matter of taking that lid off right here. This comes with the 256, again, like I said, the 8 gig RAM that's under. This, you got your fan and your heat sink. You got your oh, I'm sorry, and I didn't even mention you're gonna need the thermal paste for this to replace the CPU. That's what I'm gonna need a smaller head for this. That thermal paste does, in case you don't know. Basically it's this paste you stick between your main processor, which will be this 4790, and this heat sink, and it helps absorb the heat and transfer it onto the heat sink, which is this big piece of copper that helps channel the heat upwards. So yeah, right now we're just gonna go ahead and take everything off, and I probably should have started off with this hard drive, but it's cool. This is maxed out here. Alright. I believe there's just these 3 screws. Yeah. So you need to do this. Take this off to be able to unveil the housing here for the heat sink. And get this out of the glare here. Move this out of the way. Get more efficient with our space. You can unplug it, but it's not really necessary. You can just dangle it off to the side here. Just be careful with it in case you need to move the machine around, which we might, but just be mindful of it. Now we're going to take this hard drive housing out. It should be just a matter of this screw right here. Just take that screw out. This basically all slides up. Just be careful because there is a wiring for the Wi-Fi chip, which if you just pop this over, this is your Wi-Fi chip right here with the antennas that basically attach to the housing of the case and the housing of the solid state drive right here. Comes with the 256. That's fine. I'm probably gonna sell this to a friend, and it's meant to be it's just gonna be for the OS and apps, and then everything else should be loaded on an external. It's perfect, plenty for 111. If they want the upgrade, we can do that later in another video. But here comes the memory. We had this I believe it's a DDR3 again, Samsung 8 gig chip. We're just gonna what's the speed? This is 12800S, which I forget exactly what that equates to, but these are matching pairs. They were pulled out of similar systems, even though they kind of don't look like it. Thought I had matching pairs, but not a big deal. They are matching speeds. just maybe not matching chips. This isn't going to be a gaming rig, so it's not really a huge deal. We can go ahead and pop this housing back, just so we're not having it dangling, and being another thing to worry about if we need to move the system around. Back in the slides, locks back in. We can go ahead and get the screw back in. That way, we aren't losing things later. Alright, so now we get to the fun stuff. Let's take this heatsink out. So I can kind of appreciate how this heatsink is like separate from like on the normal game desktop rigs when you do an air cooler. It's a huge block with a fan, so it's kind of bulky to try to get and you'll see what I'm talking about with the whole thermal paste situation. Okay, so this whole part right here basically comes off now, and careful because there's an attachment with the internal speaker, so you can go ahead and pull that out. Just remember to reconnect it when we put it back together. And so we do have now the i5 chip and this the thermal paste, the old thermal paste that was applied to help with that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove it. Just all you need is basically an alcohol wipe, or cotton, or a wet alcohol paper towel, basically just rubbing alcohol or alcohol wipe, and a Q-tip comes right off. You can get it nice and clean. So let's go ahead and do that and get the heatsink first. It's good to just clean it all off if you're not going to have the chip in use. Definitely want to start with the heatsink first, because that's going to get reapplied or get put back in use, while the i5 chip is probably just going to get put away somewhere until I have some random use for it, which we'll see when that comes. And I probably underestimated how many wipes I was going to need for this, but that's okay. There's plenty more where that came from. Alright, that seems good enough. We should have enough wipe here to go ahead and clean off what was on the chip. You really don't want to have any excess. It's alright if you have just like a little bit, but no, you really try to want to avoid it all at all means, or by all means. Alright, well, clean enough. Let's put this in here, that way I'm not gunking up other things. All this residue. My finger's already a little dirty. Actually, I should, before I start getting that all over the parts, I will take a quick minute to wash my hands and get all this gunk off before we move forward. And we're back with clean hands. Alright, so now where were we? So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the old the current processor, old processor, whatever. They're both old processors, but that's what we're doing. Simple as that. Go ahead and pull the chip out. You can Leave it there for now. These two are identical. So what you want to do when you're installing the new chip is they basically line up. They're simple. It's like meant to, yeah. There should be a little a spot where this all lines up, like an indent. Ooh, actually. It's a little tiny piece of leftover thermal paste that we definitely did not want jammed up in there. Alright, so now it's exactly where it needs to be. Indents. Usually you see this little, I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's this tiny little arrow. Supposed to, in some other boards there will be an arrow on the housing too, on the receiving end, just to say like, hey, this is where I go. But yeah, it's not here. That's okay. So you go ahead and slide this back, or slide this in, and then it's gonna feel tight. There's a lot of pressure, but it's supposed to be. It's really in there. And alright, so we're ready to apply some thermal paste. And so I've seen several methods. I've done several methods, and the two that really work for me is either you can basically, and it's both are basically the same, but just one you do a little extra work, where you basically exit out, and then you use like a plastic card or cardboard or something to just flatten it and just kind of do a thin layer yourself. But with this heat sink and how much pressure gets down on it, it's kind of been seen, you can basically do an X pattern, and that should be more than well enough, and it gets perfectly in, like, to I don't know, there's been, you can Google it, there's been tests done, and it seems to there's plenty of ways to do it, but it seems one of the more efficient ways or effective ways to do it is the X pattern. Call bullshit on me if you want. That's cool. I'm definitely down to have a discussion over it. Hey, but it's worked for me. I'm definitely, everybody's got their own way of doing things. But yeah, let's just get into it. I'll digress. So here you're gonna do your X pattern. And you can even link it up if you want. And go across there, hit them with that. If you really want to add a little top layer here, and this is gonna get smushed down. Try not just to make a mess. Now this part can be a little bit tricky, especially because you have to slide it in and then line it up before you really put all the pressure down. But just take it easy, take it slow, nice and easy. Alright, now we're lined up. You want to do also like X patterns, and you put the screws in. Not go all the way, maybe like go halfway, and work your way in an X pattern until you get all the way down. There you go. And then since, yeah, make sure it's really tight too. This screwdriver's only got so much power, right? So you want to make sure you really can get it. It gets a good. It's in there. Let's hook this speaker back up. I probably should have. Would have been a pain in the ass to try to do that without messing up. There you go. Without messing up the. Thermal paste. This basically lines up to the socket. It's just it also helps to have smaller hands or a needle nose pliers or something. I'm just too lazy to go to the garage and grab it. There you go. You're good. If you've done this enough, you can just work it in with your fingers, but definitely small fingers do help there. Now we're getting the fan back on. Let's switch to the smaller head. I'll tell you guys, this screwdriver has definitely been a game changer for me. Something I didn't know I needed until my girlfriend got it for me for Christmas. And now I basically use it for like almost every little project like this. It just comes in so much handy, being able to not having to sit there, do all that. Especially when you've done this for a long time, it gets very repetitive and very tiring. But all right, guys, we got the new chip in, the new memory in. Let's go ahead and close this up. And once we get this closed up, we will, or now that we got it closed up, I'll go ahead and we're gonna switch over to the new station, or basically to a different area here. So it's all hooked up to a screen, and we can see how the OS install goes. All right, guys, see you in a bit. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we're here where we're going to start. We're here with the machine. We're going to load up into the OS. The first thing we want to do is boot up screen. When we load into this machine, we're going to go into the BIOS. There's a couple of things we're going to want to check for. Let me just help get my microphone a little more adjusted here. Yeah, there's a couple of things we want to check for, and this is why I was able to get by with getting Win 11 loaded on the previous machine. But yeah, definitely there's a couple things that are on the BIOS here that I did kind of just a pre-check, and yeah, we're just on by default, and we want to go ahead and turn off if we're gonna have any luck in getting the Win 11 loaded onto this. First thing we're gonna do is we want to come over to the devices setup, I believe. Make sure we have everything you just want to just make sure everything does look good. SATA controllers, what it should be. It's definitely not going to be IDE. Video setup is what it should be. It's integrated graphics. There's not really many options here. It's just a micro PC. But yeah, this is the important part we want to first start with here is we're going to go ahead and turn on virtualization. And while it's not needed technically, I have been seeing more and more like articles and stuff around with Win 11 that it's just starting to become more recommended to just have it enabled in your BIOS on your chips to get just better performance out of the OS. Power loss, this is pretty standard stuff. Okay, yeah, the next important thing we want to do is come down to the security tab. And under secure boot, we're actually going to want to have that turned on because that is a requirement. And I think actually, I suspect too, part of why this is why, because we have TPM, which is a requirement from Win 11, and this does have also the ability to turn off the legacy support. I think that's why we're able to get by, but again, we'll find out when we try to load the OS up. CSM is another thing we also want to have disabled. Again, that's like compatibility mode for older stuff and non-UEFI. We don't want that. We want to keep that off, keep this as modern as we can. For this is an older machine, granted, but yeah. Last thing we also want to do is make sure our I believe we're set to go ahead and load up to let's go ahead and turn off quick boot so I have time to actually see the startup options and we can load into the USB. So I think it is set to just load automatically into the USB, but it would be nice if we can see some boot options, which I do not see. I'm going to try F12 purely out of luck, or delete. There's delete seemed to have worked. This SanDisk is, so I have a USB loaded basically with Win 11. I use the Windows Media Creation tool. I won't go over how to do that in this video. If you guys need or would like to see a video of how to load a USB up with that, I can definitely do that for you. Just throw a shout out in the comments and say, hey man, we'd love to see a tutorial on how to set up the USB for installing Windows 10 or Win 11. I have a backup set ready to go with Win 10 in case this doesn't work out. If this doesn't work out, I'll probably just go ahead and shoot to Win 10 setup. Cut this whole trial and error part out. But yeah, let's go ahead and go into it. Let's load up that USB, which I already have plugged into the micro. Basically loading into the USB. Might take a couple minutes, a couple seconds. Shouldn't take super long. There it goes. Here we are at the Win 11 splash. Let's go ahead and install. I don't care about what's on this current drive. This is a machine that was sold to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it out right now. We'll just go ahead and do it. I don't have a product key. It should pick up the current key that was associated with this. And just run with it, but we will find out. If Win 11 Pro, if not, it's not very expensive to purchase the license. But here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and select the Win 11 Pro. Too bad, it's kind of sad I can't really see what's going on here. There we go. Have this option for Win 11 Pro. I'm gonna select that. And while I was mentioning earlier about why I don't care what's on here, if we're doing an upgrade from a previous machine or a hard drive that had the existing data on it and you wanted to keep, you would want to do a backup before that. But this drive, I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it to 256 gigabyte hard drive. Just going to delete both partitions, leave it unallocated, just one whole drive now. And we can go ahead and hit next, and Windows will take care of the rest. But again, this is a Win 11 USB. It's not griping about my hardware. It's just saying okay. I think it would have stopped me by now. So far, I think we're okay. and I will not make you sit through this. I'll go ahead and let this run its course and come back to you guys when this is finishing, when we're the setup is wrapping up and we're going through the out of box experience for this. And here we go. Again, remember this is a older Lenovo ThinkCentre PC with 16 gigs of RAM and a 4th gen Intel i7 4790. This technically shouldn't be running, but I haven't gotten through the whole install process this far without getting any blockers. No, I seem to remember there's some like things telling you if you weren't eligible to run Windows 11, it just won't let you install it. But I'm not seeing this happen so far. So this is kind of breakthrough for me, or interesting at least, because being the hardware nerd that I am. Again, I suspect it's because these machines do have TPM and secure boot. Is why it's just allowing this to run, but who knows? Here we are. It's obviously setting up the profile, but man, like again, for as old of a PC this is, we're already at the start menu. I've been talking, I mean, not very long, maybe a minute, and we're ready to rock. We got a full Windows OS here. Now let's start off by checking if we have a valid license, which it looks like it is. You guys can, oh, hello, it would help if I pointed at the right thing here. If you could look at the screen, you will see Windows 11 Pro 23H2, Intel Core i7 4790 CPU, 16 gigs. I don't know why my screen's blanking out, but it kind of is. Let me make sure that we're activated here. Which I kind of forgot how to check. Services agreement. Nope. This is just the Edge setup. I'll continue without. Confirm and start browsing. There we go. Product key and activation. It shows us as active. Win 11 Pro. Now let's jump on over to Microsoft Defender. I see a green check mark here. Normally, if we were not okay, there'd be all sorts of red flags. But we got device security, everything green check marks. Device performance and health is no issues. So I mean, wow guys, I think we're good. This is Win 11 on a 4th generation Intel i7. Again, this shouldn't be possible. It's not supposed to be. Okay, look, I already see this importing my things here. But yeah, guys. This is pretty crazy to me. Sorry about that little pause there, dead air. But yeah, Win 11 on a 4th gen Intel. There you have it. For those naysayers, because I do know a few says it can be done. Again, I'm not without any red flags or hacks or anything. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I ran the Windows Media Creation tool. I didn't do anything special to my BIOS. No special firmware. This is just a Lenovo M93. Actually, what did I say it was? We can go ahead and pull it up. If I remember the command properly. Oh, well, we don't get a model number out of this. Maybe if I select all here, but now I'm going into the weeds, and you guys probably don't care about this stuff. But yes, this is a 4th gen Intel is all I got to say. It's a socket 1150. Again, not compatible with Win 11, but this is somehow running, and I'm not getting any red flags. I've had another one already running about a month now that I built for my brother. He's been rocking and rolling with it, playing even like basic games and emulators on it, and seems to be working great. But yeah, guys, there you have it. If you like what you've been seeing, again, this is part of my channel where I talk about my different hobbies, not just Pokemon cards. If you guys are liking this, want to see more, I will definitely keep them coming at you. I am constantly upgrading parts on my main rig, and like I said, building stuff for friends and family, or troubleshooting their issues as I'm the tech or the family IT guy, as some of you else may be. So yeah, guys, thanks again. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, like button, keep me going. And thanks again. JackofallReys signing out.